Should probably open the stream chat up, shouldn't we? Let's get questions and stuff.
Yeah, it's open. Oh, whatever. I'm gonna play the intro, and I'll cue us in.
Alright, cool.
You are listening to the Beast Cast.
Get ready!
Round one.
Round one.
Fight.
Fight. Let's play a little game.
It was the wrong one. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the podcast formerly known as the Beast Cast. It is now called the Beast Dance. Welcome. We're at episode 12. On this episode, I have returning Darksiders Waz. How you doing, my dude?
What's up, baby? Doing good.
What's good? Along with him, we have new to the podcast, first time here, Gilbagz. What's up, my dude?
What's up, lovely people of the internet?
What's up?
Is that the right thing? What did Jake used to say? It's a bit
What's
slow.
up, beautiful people of the internet? Something like that.
There we go. There we go. That's the one.
That's it, dude. I still catch recaps of the Friendly Alliance every now and then. Yeah, but yeah, we got some NRS talking to do today. These guys are gonna venture off into the very recent trips into Vienna. Could maybe get into the history of NRS in Sydney and Australia as a whole. But yeah, we'll kick it off. Gilbagz, Waz has been on, so had a little bit of an intro to who he is and what he does. Fill the people in about yourself.
So I guess I'm the main Sydney TO, like the guy who tries to get all the NRS shit going in Sydney and I guess Australia to an extent, right?
Yeah.
Fucking push everything. And I'm a forever low tier hero, mid tier hero, what do you want to call it? Forever roasted by Yusuf for not playing better characters hero.
Oh, good. Just little bit about your history. Coming into the first game, whatnot. How you got involved?
My first game was, like in a first competitive game where I didn't just button mash and shit, was MK9, which is what came out in 2011.
Yeah.
People have heard the story a million times, but fuck.
This is gonna be the first time they hear it here, so.
Yeah, so when MK9 dropped, right, everyone remembers that the game was banned. So the scene was tiny as shit. Like I still have the picture of like the first few people who were in the scene. It was like a 6-man Facebook group, and now it's like 1,000 something for the MK group or some shit.
Yeah.
And yeah, basically, for the longest time, it was just a whole bunch of guys playing it online. Because it was banned, it was a smaller scene, but everyone was a lot closer when they were playing and shit.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think it was 2012 where like N Megabytes or Nada from South Australia, like he made the trip to Sydney to get some offline games and shit. But again, it was just casuals. There was nothing competitive for us outside of just our shitty online tournaments and that. But I think things kicked off in late 2012 when we had I think it was OHN X that year or OHN 9. I can't remember, one or the other, right? And like the applications are open for DIY, and I tried to get MK9 there as a DIY tournament, but the game was banned. So I think I rallied like 30-40 people from the forums to try and get to travel to Sydney to play MK9.
Oh god, I forgot to turn off notifications. Keep going. It's part of the charm of this podcast.
But, so like full got everyone rounded up to come play. And then I think it was Spencer, if you know Spencer?
Yeah.
Gosu or
yeah, I remember Spencer, yeah.
Yeah. It was like, I forgot to go, and he was like, sorry, you can't run the tournament, the game's bad, we have sponsors, we can't show this game. So I was like, okay, we got bodied.
Yeah.
So, nothing really picked up to Injustice, where we had our actual game to play, and I guess things slowly grew from there.
It's funny you bring up MK9 being banned because, like, I was about to say, like, I thought you were gonna bring up it was at OHN, but I'm like, I don't remember that, and then like, it all clicks. The game was actually banned in Australia, so
yeah,
holy hell.
Like that's what brought the scene together,
Holy hell! I appreciate the follows, but please stop just for a moment.
Yeah, it was like, you're just you're part of an underground scene. You know, like FGC is already sort of underground, right? But you're playing a banned game now.
Yeah.
Like, do you remember the articles where it was like, if you got caught for trying to, it was like a $10,000.
I remember. Yeah, I remember that specifically. I remember because I remember like people were going to import it regardless because there is a NRS scene in Australia. It's just how much were you willing to risk to get the game in?
I remember, I think it was Urx's story, right? Like he ordered it from eBay, right?
Yeah.
And then the instructions that the guy was like, "Oh, I'm gonna wrap it up, the full gift wrap to change the cover for the game." Dude, this shit was super underground, man. But because of that, that's why the scene was so close knit when the game first came out.
Yeah.
You guys were the guys who survived. You survived the culling of the fucking border security. But shit was awesome. But we never actually got a proper like offline scene going because like
how many people like obviously you couldn't get anything offline going, but how many people like had a copy of the game or like you could sneak off to just have like a small gathering? Did that ever happen?
Yeah, playing offline or online?
Offline, because obviously you couldn't. Could you play online?
Yeah, like you could, like we didn't understand how shit the netcode was back then. We're like, oh man, we can play online. This is great. But like it was variable delay netcode, so you couldn't play shit. It was fucking AIDS. But basically, for the first year of the game, it was literally just me and Albert playing.
Really?
Like sets, like you don't like Taz can attest to it. Like, maybe not so much anymore. But for the most part, I don't get too salty playing games.
Yeah.
But me and Albert would get so fucking pissed at each other. Just, right? Like I remember we'll play like first to 100 or some shit, right? And then eventually it ends. He walks up, puts the pad down, doesn't say a word.
That's
cool. Like the heyday when Albert was actually still good at playing games. Actually, he's still pretty good. He just doesn't compete as much.
That's crazy. So like my knowledge of competitive NRS games is only limited to Injustice, the first one, MK9, obviously, but like just hearsay knowledge. Was that the first competitive Mortal Kombat?
They had MK vs DC. Obviously, like I wasn't part of the scene back then. I was like in year 9, year 10 or some shit.
Yeah.
But there was a MK vs DC scene in the States. But MK vs DC is like one of the most trash games of all fucking time.
Yeah.
Like, I don't. Have you ever played it?
No. Like I know of the game, never touched it.
Just the game's like if you think balance is bad for like NRS games now, like the shit that was in MK vs DC, like you had like proper infinites where you had the like soft ban infinites because of how broken they were, or you had like Green Lantern who could combo off a breaker. Like you just anytime you touched him, he'll just launch you off a breaker. There was so much dumb shit.
Okay, so MK9 pretty much never really got going.
Nah.
Yeah.
But it started something online at least, and then going into Injustice, we had a base that we could build off.
Okay. But MKX is pretty much where stuff blew up.
That's where everything. Come on, we had like 30-man YSBs, 40-man YSBs.
Wow.
Status traveling for YSB and shit. It was crazy.
Interesting. So like stuff popped up for the NRS scene with MKX, but would you say stuff kind of initiated with Injustice?
Officially yes, because like I remember it was YSB 16 or YSB 17, right? That was the first YSB I attended, right?
Yeah.
And dude, we had everyone traveling interstate to fucking compete in that tournament.
Like I remember glimpses of it, especially interstate.
Yeah.
I remember.
It was basically Nada and Josh.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, Injustice was the start of it though. Like, dude, the first that first YSB, because we had like we were allowed to run a tournament. Like Nada flew down on like a week's notice, 2 weeks notice, and he helped me run the shit. But things kicked off with that, and things just grew from there.
Fast forward to the history, MKX and the present NRS game of Injustice 2. So yeah, good times. Good times. So the NRS scene is like we pretty much grouped together Injustice 2 and MKX. Is it both? Has it always been both two? Was there a lot of crossover? Do you just assume people playing MKX, the guys that were playing Injustice 1 in Australia, just cross over to MKX?
most of them did, like, at least for the start, right? Because again, like, Injustice was our first, like, proper competitive in the sense where we have an offline scene to play with, right?
Yep.
So, after Injustice, we're like, the balance is pretty horseshit at the end of the game, and
Mhm.
everyone was keen to get to MKX. So people, like, most of the OG guys did play it. Like, I think basically everyone I knew from Injustice 1 played MKX.
Yeah.
But yeah, people dropped off because I don't know whether it would be live or just the game was too different.
Mhm.
But in saying that, the game grew so much more because actually no, like MKX, like I spoke to Spoot about this a few times, like a while ago, right? People say the scene boomed because of the namesake of MKX or just Mortal Kombat in general,
Mhm.
which is true. MK is like if you think about the big fighters of the old generation, it's what Street Fighter, Tekken, MK,
Yeah.
right? King of Fighters to an extent as well, but if you think about like the big names, right?
Mhm.
Like MK is definitely one of them. So yeah, that was a big reason why the scene grew, but people forget that MKX came out in a time where that was the fighting game drought. With like people were over SF4. King of Fighters 3 was on the way out, and same with Marvel.
Yeah. Tekken wasn't
Like,
out as well. I remember
Yeah, like,
specifically.
it
I
was-
remember like I had no game to play.
Yeah.
What was you started with MKX as well? Yeah.
Yeah, I started in MKX like halfway through the first year.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like that's why the scene was so big, because everyone from every scene was playing this game because it was the fresh new game on the block.
100%. I remember BAM where it was showcased, the amount of people there. Yeah, it was ridiculous. You had reps from every single state.
But yeah, like I guess you're right. You're right in saying that people did cross over for the first game between Injustice 1 and MKX.
Hmm.
But I think with going into Injustice 2, the crossover was there at the start, but like if you look at the numbers now, then the numbers are pretty bad for Injustice 2. Like numbers dropped off so freaking fast. But I
Yeah.
guess that's another story for another day. Because we've spoken about this like a million times, right?
Not on this podcast.
You need to act like you need to realize these are different people.
Yeah.
Alright, Taz, you want to say anything?
Well, it's for a number of reasons. I reckon it's
Like fucking thing turned off. Shit.
because
you guys hear me?
yeah, we can hear you. The transition between like different versions of games from like other games, you tend to keep the same mechanics.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's not 100% fast rule, but
Yeah.
do you feel like that's the case from the switch over for Mortal Kombat to Injustice?
Hell no, man.
Yeah.
Alright, Taz, go.
I think like in terms of mechanics, like the games are like pretty different, but the main reason people that played, or not the main reason, but like a lot of people that were just like enjoying MKX liked it for the crazy offense and shit. So
Mm-hmm.
like that was probably one of the biggest reasons like people didn't play Injustice 2 as much, because it's way harder to do things. Like MKX
Yeah.
was fun because you could legit like go ham. Like everyone
Yeah,
could go.
dude. It was
So-
fucking nuts, man.
Yeah, say what you want about it. Like, obviously, it appeals to a specific audience, gameplay wise, but it does have its appeal.
Like people like pressing buttons, and in MK you can press as much buttons as you want.
100%.
Like, it's fucking awesome. Like it's a fast pace. The game is super fun to play. The heavy mix style empowered the weak. Again, I've said this a million times, but
Mm.
yeah, it empowers like lower level players.
Mm-hmm.
Again, the example I always bring up is Jacob. Dude,
Mm-hmm.
like or Cabjoy, right? For his first BAM, like he was it BAM 5, BAM 6? Can't remember. The one with PL,
It was 6.
Six.
BAM 6, right? Yeah. People don't know this, right? But like during that BAM, Jacob didn't know what frame data was. He didn't understand frame data.
Really? Was
Yeah,
was he that fresh into FGC territory?
No, he played fighters, but he never went super in depth. He played KOF, he dabbled and he played SF4, but he never really got into it. And MKX, it was like again, it was the same thing. He didn't understand frame data and shit,
Mm-hmm.
and he came third by mixing the fuck out of Perfect Legend.
Holy
That's just
hell!
hype as shit. But again, that's the perfect example. It empowers you, right? Like, you're a mid-tier player, like or high mid-tier player, right? And you're taking games off these one-end players. So suddenly you're feeling yourself and you're fuck. I can do this. So
Yeah.
you want to play the game, and that's what everyone went through for the game. That's why the scene was so big. Dude, my very first YSB, right? I remember playing this unknown player. Right? His name was Boxhead, right?
Mhm.
We call Aaron Black's forward 4, if you guys know what that is.
No.
Basically, it's this drop kick. It's an overhead drop kick, right?
Oh, I thought you meant the name. Yeah. I know. Yeah.
His forward 4 is this overhead drop kick, right?
Mhm.
And the first YSB, he's up the first game and the round. He's at like tournament point against me or set point against me, right? And this is some random PC player, right?
Yep.
And like I ended up bringing it back and winning, right? But again, it just goes to show that like the game empowers these like this lesser known players, which encourages them to come back and it just makes them want to come back because I'm doing well, I'm feeling myself, so maybe I can actually do this.
Mm.
But yeah, going into Injustice, you couldn't do that. Yeah, well, like, it's not that you couldn't do that, but it's much harder. You need to have a much stronger neutral base or like a much stronger grasp of fighting games to succeed, which is why a lot of the players dropped off.
You have to be way better just in general, but the game is also just a lot more slow. So that's probably one of the biggest. Another reason that's seen different change in numbers and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But I don't think the numbers like towards at least like later on in MKX compared to now in Injustice, it's not really that big of a difference, if any at all, to be honest.
Yeah, end of life MKX was getting towards these numbers as well.
Yep. I think I don't really know what it is. I think maybe some people just don't like. It's not really like the thing is like the people that are playing Injustice at the moment aren't even the same people that were playing MKX. Like
that is true. I've noticed that.
There are actually like a lot of different people that came into Injustice 2. So the people that kind of aren't playing Injustice 2 now weren't even playing MKX towards the end anyway. So
yeah,
at least that's what I've noticed.
Mm-hmm. And I feel it's like in the namesake as well. Like some people are legitimately just Mortal Kombat fans, while some just Injustice DC fans. So
yeah. Actually, well, that's true. One thing I want to bring up, right? Because I remember back when Injustice was first dropping, right? One of the arguments people brought up for not wanting to play Injustice was, I have no attachment to the characters, which is it's a fair call, right? Fair call.
It's a very fair call.
But wait, listen to me, right? Taz, you played Devora. Devora didn't exist to MKX. Gyuki played Takeda. He didn't exist to MKX. You didn't have attachment to these characters either until you played his games.
Yeah, I get where you're coming from.
I get what you mean, but like that, the way those characters were, like no one in Injustice, like I could just like play and like fall in love with, like I did, like other people did in MKX with the new characters. Like it was like it was so different. Like I don't even like any character in Injustice.
Well, some people have attachment to a certain character. Some people have attachment to the way the character plays. So it's two different things. So like I've never been a massive Scarecrow fan from the comics or anything, but the way he played, oh my god, like I kind of fell in love with him there. So I think it's
still the coolest thing.
Yeah, it's amazing. Oh god. Yeah, I need to go back and play.
At the end of the day, there's a whole bunch of different reasons. Like everyone has their own reasons for playing each game, so you can't really like cater to everybody. Not everyone's gonna want to play something. So I guess we're still like doing everything we can to, keep interest in whatever we're doing. Or like no matter what, if people want to play the game, it's there. Like play it.
No one's gonna stop you from playing the game. If you like the game, play it.
That applies for every single game.
That's pretty much the bottom line. Like, there's nothing stopping you from like playing in tournaments and shit. Like, it will still be there if you want to play it.
Yeah, like just rewind for a second, right? Like, why do we play games?
Mm-hmm.
Like, you play games for enjoyment, right? Like, it doesn't fucking matter if there's no tournament scene or if there's, I don't know, like a lot of people not playing the game. Like, if you have one person to play with, that's literally all you need.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I guess it sucks for trying to grow a scene and shit, but in the end,
for some people maybe. Some people also might just want to have like big competition.
Yeah, true.
Like myself, like I love this competition. Like I don't even like. Yeah, I like pretty much just play any fighting game just because it's competitive. That's the only reason.
I'm just playing Joker. Oh man.
Yeah, I want to touch a little bit on that. You obviously played Joker from Injustice 2. Was that a character loyalist thing from the series, or you just happened to fall upon him and just
like I played it ever since Injustice 1, man. Like when you know me, I'm like the biggest character loyalist. Like all time. Like I find a character, I like the character. It doesn't matter what the fuck he's like. I'm gonna play him until I actually find like a 7-3 or like an 8-2 or some shit.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna play him regardless. I don't give a shit about like Taylor's.
No, dude. I'm of the same mentality. I'm of the same old school thought. It's just I don't care about it. It's just interesting to see. Like even with that mindset, just sticking to that one character for that long, because like even I get bored of my mates. but yeah. Yeah, like, that's like a whole nother level of character loyalty.
I enjoy the struggle,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because if I beat you in a fucking bad matchup,
Hmm.
you can't say shit. You can't blame the fucking character, right? You gotta hold that shit.
That's
right?
true. That's true.
Like, go on, Taz, GM versus Cryomancer, right? How bad's that match?
Yeah, it's like almost 8-2 probably if it isn't.
Yeah. It's fucking one of the worst matches of all time. Like, it's the only match in MKX where it's literally gotten worse in every single patch of the game. Just from universal nerfs and shit, right? But I fucking still play it. And it's purely just fucking spit in, like, not spit, but like, shove it in D's face and actually beat his ass.
See, it's funny because NRS games are kind of those games in the other category where character matchups are more of an issue. Like
Yeah.
more so than Street Fighter, more so than Tekken, and it's just.
Well, Tekken doesn't have matchups, man.
Look, maybe in maybe in the more recent iteration of the game, but
Yeah.
it was never such a heavy presence. But
Yeah.
you have that matchup factor being a presence with like Injustice and MKX.
Big time.
Yeah, big
Well,
time.
I think it's also it's a product of what, like, of 2D fighters, right? When you have character archetypes, you're gonna have bad matchups.
Hmm.
Fair enough. Street Fighter. Actually, Street Fighter 5 still has pretty bad matchups, doesn't it? Like,
Yeah, it
is
definitely does. It definitely does.
like Geef is by design is gonna have bad matchups.
Yeah.
Dalsim by design is gonna have bad matchups.
Mhm.
It's just nature of the game. Like, we play 2D fighters.
That's
it's,
true. It just
It's more based
seems
on character tools as opposed to mechanics of the game itself.
it just seems to be more prevalent in NRS.
Yeah, because the character archetypes
I
are
think
Yeah.
it's for that reason, and a lot of the characters, like learning a character in Injustice or MK is not really that hard. It's pretty easy to learn a character at like a pretty solid level to be at a counter pick
Hmm.
state. Like I don't know, like at least in Injustice, like pretty much if you're counter picking, if you're not playing a zoner, your counter picking character is just going to be a zoner. So
Yeah,
Hmm.
more or less. Yeah.
yeah, so like that's not really that hard to pick up at a decent level.
Yeah.
So
Like,
like
it's super easy to counter pick for like the mid-level play stuff. Like,
Yeah.
super easy.
obviously like the craziest like high level for most matchups, like you're
Yeah.
not going to be able to counter pick someone and win with your like crusty ass side character, but
Hmm.
yeah, that's it kind of is it's a pretty big issue. Not an issue, but like it is a big thing in like, NRS.
So aside from the character loyalty character loyalist players like Aaron, you feel it's almost recommended that you have a side character because of those matchups.
100%,
Yeah.
man. Like I definitely learned that like this past few weeks. So,
Mm.
Yeah.
like I've learned after like the Vienna thing, like I'm never gonna just play one character like
For
if
NRS
there's a
game.
matchup that's that bad. Like I would always just have a second character just like in case, like if ever.
It has, but in saying that, right, you haven't played an arrow that played that style before. You haven't broken down a match at all.
I know. So I thought it was winnable.
You thought it was okay, yeah. And well,
Yeah.
again, you didn't play an arrow of the caliber. So again, there's still stuff that's unexplored. Again, dude, like, you heard me preach about how bad the Fate matchup is, and like, I actually feel pretty good about it now.
Yeah. Well, that's just how it is. You learn like the games have developed over time in terms of counter picking and stuff, and some matchups that were considered bad originally aren't anymore. So
Yeah.
I still think like the thing with counter picking in NRS games is like the games usually don't last super long. So
Yeah. Hmm.
not every matchup gets to be developed
Fully
to its like
explored and,
full potential, and like everything gets to be found.
Hmm.
So that also might be a reason why like at an early state or even like halfway through, it's pretty easy to counter pick someone in some matchups.
Yep.
If that makes sense, yeah.
No, that makes total sense. Also, like, I know how much of a factor it is for Injustice, but you with as much as MKX was patched,
Yeah.
you kind of really couldn't see how like matchups would play out because characters just
Yeah.
kept changing,
Yeah.
almost on the daily.
It was really bad.
Mm.
But see, like, that's like, that's another thing though. Like, with everyone, or like, the OG players, right? They dislike like frequent patching, right? Because you can't really adapt to the game can't grow.
Mhm.
The standard argument we hear, right?
Hmm.
But again, like, the NRS scene grew with MKX, right? So that's the baseline for a lot of the players here.
Hmm.
Anytime you had an issue, it would be patched out, right? Anytime, or like, you start getting bored with the character, you got a patch to just completely redefine the character and gave you new tools. It was super fun and interesting in that sense,
Hmm.
right? Going into the Injustice 2, like they slowed down the patching so much. Like, how long did it take them to patch Deadshot?
Yeah.
It took them forever. Do you feel like that was a product specifically because of MKX and how
Yeah.
people
Definitely. Like they took on the feedback that everyone had. Like,
Mhm.
NRS actually listens, whether it's as a good or a bad thing, right?
Yeah.
I guess it was bad early on because they listened too much and patched too much, right?
Mhm.
But they listened to what everyone was saying in the sense that everyone said they patched too much, so they slowed it down. So unfortunately, we had to deal with bloody Deadshot for a whole year.
Mhm.
But in the end, like the game was able to grow, and like people did find ways around certain things that we didn't have to end up patching out at the end.
Yeah.
But again, like for the MKX purists who came in, and it wasn't as interesting because your character didn't get completely revamped every few weeks.
Mhm.
The thing, like that's fun. Like think about Tekken, right? When Tekken got when the patch notes dropped, right? What's the first thing you did, Abby?
It was legit like a homework. It was but just fun. It just
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah, it's a fucking
Mm.
treasure trove, right? You open your
Mhm.
like Harada gave you this fucking treasure chest, right? You're like, oh yo, like what new tools do I have, right? Like it's fun exploring shit,
Mhm. That is true. It's just better. Like, you gotta find a balance. You gotta find a
You
midway
definitely gotta
point.
find that balance.
Mm.
And
I
like
also felt like I felt like in Injustice 2 at least, the patches were like less frequent, but it also didn't make the game more fun, to be honest.
yeah.
It
Because,
actually
like,
just made it like the top tiers obviously got worse and like shit like that. But in terms of like new things and like making it more fun, it definitely didn't do that. Like yeah.
Definitely. Like there was no big meta changing patch.
I was about to
for
ask.
engine.
There were a lot of character changes. There wasn't really anything. Just refresh my memory if there was nothing like gameplay wise changing.
Interactables. That was a bit.
Okay. Oh yeah, that's
Oh,
it.
yeah.
That's it. No, I remember.
But
That was
like
early. That was pretty early on. They
Yeah,
changed this.
yeah. But like every other NRS game had a huge meta changing patch. Injustice was the only one that didn't have it. Like MK9, back when the first game came out, you could cancel dash into dash. They removed that, and suddenly like the block dash meta developed, and the game slowed down. And after
You
you
could
had like
cancel dash into dash.
it
Oh,
was like Tekken. You could do dash 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 dash
oh,
dash.
okay. All right. I see how that works.
But yeah, like the mobility was like super like free, so it was a super fast paced game, and you didn't really have like a neutral develop. After they changed that, like the game slowed down and you had some semblance of a neutral game.
Yeah.
Injustice 1, fucking on release you couldn't anti-hero at all, and there was a huge meta changing patch where they buffed like close to everyone's anti-hero.
Mhm.
And they changed a lot of the interactables too. MKX, the biggest meta changing patch was probably the XL patch,
Yeah.
where then they changed like all the 50/50, changed stamina, like there was these like
armored
it's
launches.
Like,
Yeah.
yeah, fucking hell, holy shit.
Oh, holy
But like,
hell.
Yeah, that was a huge patch.
but it was wild changes. Injustice 2 never got that. It's always had this slow meta, but I guess that's what they were going for, right? Like people said MKX was too rushdown based. It was like literally like what zones do you have in it? You have Mournful and
Sector.
HQT. That's
Jackie.
okay, but
Jackie,
Mhm.
definitely.
yeah, but
Yeah.
you can count the number of zones on one hand, right?
Yeah.
In Injustice, like they slowed the game down a lot, like to have that slow neutral game. You can't just run in and 50/50 someone to death anymore.
Mhm.
Yep.
But yeah, I don't know. It's gonna be interesting to see how the game goes in MK11. Like it hasn't been announced yet, but everyone knows it's coming.
Oh yeah.
It's pretty much inevitable.
It's inevitable. So one thing I wanted to touch on is like we're in the timeline of esports hitting the FGC.
Yeah.
For all our major games, NRS is kind of not on this, not as big in Australia, but it's prevalent. We've had our moments. One, but we've always wanted, every game in Australia has wanted that international presence. Like we get
Capcom Cup.
the Capcom Cup. I mean, BAM is part of the Capcom Cup, Tekken World Tour as well.
DBZ now.
Dragon Balls as well. Like we wanted the same for Injustice and our NRS games, and like it's almost been a challenge for the community to get that outreach.
Yeah. 100%.
Just because we are smaller and it is Australia as well, but we finally got that for the IPS lab, which is a good transition. Like, it's just how did that even come about?
Taz, you can go through this.
In terms of like how it like got announced, or like just in general.
Oh, how it got just in general.
Like, well, for MKX, we like when ESL started, there was like a spot for like there was like Russians in it. There was like a whole bunch of EU people, like Liga Latino was still in it. So like, I think if if anyone that was around for MKX probably remembers, like,
Yeah.
when we all pushed like so hard on Twitter, like we were just constantly like,
Yeah, we
hitting up. We pretty much just like
we
fucking went
destroyed Joshua Gray.
crazy. Yeah.
Joshua Gray, man. Everyone just like spammed it. It was fucking sick.
We pretty
Mhm.
much just constantly made noise until like hopefully we got something, but unfortunately it didn't happen for MK because also a big reason it probably didn't happen was because it was already like by the time they even announced the first like season, it was probably already decided on what they were doing.
Mhm.
So because that's definitely all planned way far in advance. But I think for Injustice, I think it helped for sure that like I actually traveled and
Yeah, I was gonna bring up you as being a big part of that. Doing well at Combo Breaker, your presence at Evo, like people who clue into what's happening with Injustice had to be paying attention to the fact that
yeah. So like I think yeah, like you said, that me going overseas and like kind of making some waves and like getting people to even know that we exist was probably like a big help in terms of getting that spot. And like the European program, which is what it was a part of, was like not really even, they had no info on it until like the week it was announced. Like,
Yeah.
it was like this always on the list that it was a thing, but no one knew what was happening. Not even the EU guys knew. So
it's kind of
no
last
one
minute.
had no one had
Yeah.
no idea what was happening, and I definitely thought it was like we definitely like, because when you think European program, you don't think like Australia is going to be a part of that.
Mhm.
And even I don't think it was originally meant to be a part of it either, because when they first announced they put out the trailer for the IPS season 2.
Yeah.
Like they showed the map and it didn't have like, it had like EU
Australia's not
and,
even on the map.
yeah,
Australia doesn't
it had
exist,
like
right?
EU and like USA highlighted pretty much, and so like that was pretty much, we thought we were done, we were cooked, but yeah, just somehow I don't know what made them do it exactly, but they just decided we deserve a spot. So yeah, it was sick.
Yeah.
So for
and
people that know, explain what happened. We had an online qualifier for.
Yeah.
Mm.
Okay, so basically the IPS like tour is happening right now, and it's like coming into the later ends of the season. It's got about the finals is in a month, so it's basically like around 2 months before the finals. They just randomly dropped this announcement saying, so there's going to be like an online tournament for like 4 regions. So EU West, East, Middle East, and Australia are all having an online tournament, and the top 2 of each region are going to go to Vienna to compete in the top 8 for a spot at the IPS finals. And yeah, it pretty much just came up out of nowhere. And ours was actually announced, like it was announced, and ours was a week after the announcement. So we pretty much had a week to just play.
We had
Yeah.
4 days. We had 4 days.
It wasn't even a full week. So pretty much.
Oh man.
Like
that's what happened.
it was late announcement, but still a huge deal.
Oh, for sure. Like we were all hyped on it, man.
Dude, I've never seen so many people jump on instantly. It was just like
Yeah.
in all games. In all games.
Yeah.
It was crazy, yeah.
Like even Josh was playing a shit ton. That was sick.
Yeah. So yeah, it was good. A real good opportunity for the Australian scene, because not only did the online got showcased stream-wise.
Yep.
Yeah.
That was really good, actually. Yeah, that they streamed online, and it was like, it was basically the exact same as any offline tournament. It was just online.
Yeah.
Like, so it gave more players that aren't even traveling the opportunity to get exposure,
Mhm.
like on a stream like NetherRealm and stuff like that.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And even like regardless of the stream, like it's a good experience just to play in that, because it's like, it's a lot on the line, like that not most people in Australia would be used to, if any.
Mhm.
Besides maybe like myself traveling. So I think it's a good start, and I definitely think it's gonna like continue from here on out.
100%.
I definitely don't think this is definitely just the beginning. Like,
Yeah. Holy shit.
I have no idea what the plans are next, but yeah,
like-
we'll get into like that later, unless you wanted to keep talking about it now.
There's like I'm not sure how much we can say, right? But like when we spoke to the guys up in Vienna, right? They did mention they did want to bring Asia into the Australia one, right? It was like it's gonna be like an Oceania tournament as opposed to just Australia, right?
Mhm.
But apparently like logistically there wasn't enough time to get shit sorted.
Yeah.
But given enough time, for the new game and shit, man, you have like we could actually see a proper like a proper qualifier. Or
Yeah, like for
proper
the
event
Oceanic
for us.
region. Yeah, Asia or
Yeah,
Oceania.
I really think that we're gonna have our own spot in whatever the next games is. Like, whatever the next game is, I think for this tour or whatever they do,
Yeah.
if they do one,
Mhm.
I think we're gonna have our own spot and not like just be
A qualifier for a qualifier.
Who runs IPS?
They outsource it to a company.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
Maybe it was Intersports, I think. Yeah, Intersports or some shit.
Intersports or something like that. Yeah,
Yeah.
I can't remember, but
Yeah, it's a contractor who does all the logistical work and shit.
Interesting. Okay. So the online qualifier happened. It was pretty intense. Like top 8. I would say yeah, even top 8. Like
I'd say the
intense
whole
for
top 8
the
was
whole
pretty-
top 8 was
Yeah.
pretty intense. Even winners final, like it was kind of
Final was
hectic.
so scary.
Oh
Yeah,
man.
that's it.
I don't
So,
think
because it's like you have a little bit of fallback on the fact that there were 2 spots, so you could afford to make a
Yeah.
mistake. But
Yeah.
even still, it was kind of
Yeah.
like for anyone in top 8, it was kind of a heart attack for everyone.
Dude,
Yeah.
I went to like Evo, I've been to Combo Breaker, all this. I've never had any nerves compared to what I felt in that online tournament.
Really, that's hectic.
I was like so nervous. I could not believe it. Like before playing, I was nervous. Like once I start playing, I'm fine. But like before it, I was like, I could not believe how nervous I was. I was like, because I just wanted it so bad. And then like you said, there was 2 spots, so that felt good. And I was like, okay, I thought no matter what, like I'll probably make it 100%. But I didn't want to like. Obviously, you don't want to even be in losers to like have the even like less of an opportunity to win it.
100%.
Point blank with trip players. Fucking never forget.
Yeah. Yeah, oh my god.
So yeah, a long story short, Wisen and Gilbagz ended up qualifying. They both came first and second respectively.
Hold that shit. I got first.
That's the closest that like anyone's ever taken you in fucking the
I
way.
just want to specify that. I just want to specify that.
There.
And pretty much, how soon? Remind us how soon after the online tournament was the trip?
About a month.
Yeah, about a month. Yeah.
About a month.
Yeah.
And you had a decent amount of time to like size up the competition. What was your like frame of mind heading into Vienna?
We just labbed the fuck out of everything.
We pretty much just labbed everything and like.
You already knew the players that you'd be playing.
Nah, unfortunately, actually, our tournament was on like the 11th of September,
Mhm.
and the next tournament, like for the next people to qualify, was like the 28th or something. So
Yeah.
we only had roughly like a week or
A
so
week to break down footage.
to break down as much as we could.
But in saying that, we had a 20-hour trip where we like just watched fucking footage.
Yeah, so
Like, on the
yeah,
ledge
we
of a
definitely
drone
just studied like hard on the trip. There.
Mhm.
Didn't help that much, to be honest.
Yeah, like a lot of the stuff that we like practiced for or whatever was pretty much just like we kind of had an idea of who would make it, assuming like because you can kind of see like between whoever's like playing in each tournament who's gonna like be in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we kind of just based it off that and practiced until we actually knew who made it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And, like studied as much as we could. We played like we both started playing the characters against each other just to like get little. Obviously we're not playing at the highest level, but like it helps still just to learn as many like matchup wise things.
Yeah. Yeah, still breakdown. Alright. Which one's Smash GG?
Yeah, I got your idea.
Do you already have it open?
Yeah, let's
Nah, I've got it.
let's talk about the tournament because despite you guys coming first or second, it was a fresh top 8. So
Yeah.
everyone had
All the
to
winners bracket.
Yeah, all in.
Taz, you get the bracket up.
I don't know if it's
Anyway, though, I ran the matches. So the first match was what? It was Taz and Dizzy T from the UK.
Mhm.
yeah.
It
So,
was Cowboy Mirror.
I wanted to bring up the topic of international experience. Waz's had more so than anyone else. So he would have had to adjust less. But go back. How was it for you? Because we've pretty much been restricted to our own little island here.
Like again, like after I lost again, my first match was against Foxy. I lost 3-0 and shit.
Mhm.
But yeah, like The other like the Greek player K-Top, right? He comes up to me and was like, You're just playing Novus. Like, when you played against me, like, I didn't open you up with anything. You literally blocked everything. And then,
Mm-hmm.
against Foxy, he opened me up with, like, close to everything.
Mm-hmm.
Half of that was, like, Foxy playing completely different. And the other half of it was, yeah, just, just making bad decisions of that, which I guess which does come down to nerves to an extent.
Mm-hmm.
But, I've been competing since, 2013 now. So,
Yeah.
I don't feel like I get nerves. But
Mm-hmm.
people say, like, I get nerves a lot. So I don't know.
I
Like,
think you can.
I honestly can't tell. Like,
I got the bracket by the way to know.
Okay. Cheers.
yeah, it's just, I guess the adrenaline rush will make you like fuck up certain things that you wouldn't usually do. But like I honestly felt fine for the most part. Just it's bad decision making, like under
Yeah.
pressure and that. But yeah, like I guess it just comes with more experience in the other thing. But I don't think nerves are as much of an issue for me anymore. Like, dude, I used to get fucking real bad nerves to the point where like hands are shaking constantly. And can't respond to anything.
Really,
Yeah.
really. See, I did not know about this until or Waz clued me in. But yeah. I want to talk about you guys comparing the Australian standard to everyone else's, but we'll talk about some matches first. Waz, your first match was against DZTT.
Yeah.
How you didn't he was at Evo, wasn't he?
He was at Evo.
Yeah. I don't know if you played him previously, but how confident were you going into that? Because considering it was a mirror.
So I was like pretty keen to play the mirror because I've played it like a fair bit, and I know like there's nothing he's gonna do that I haven't really done myself or at least seen before.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, I felt like it's the character I've been playing for like over a year. Like, what is he gonna do that I've not seen or like already know about? So, but I've never played him, so I didn't know really how to approach it. I guess I just played like super safe.
Mm-hmm.
And I also watched him like quite a bit before the tournament. And I wrote like notes and everything about him. I actually didn't even read them when I got there. I forgot I had them.
Mm-hmm.
But I actually wrote notes, but they didn't. Whatever. They probably just in my subconscious anyway. So yeah, I felt pretty good, and I knew he would be really good. In like I was assuming he'd be really good in the mirror because he plays against Smeech all the time and Sonic Fox. So I was like, yeah, he's gonna know them. Like, and he plays a character obviously. So
Well, really? Wait, they play each other internationally?
yeah. It's about like 130 ping. It's actually not too bad.
Oh wow, I did not know that. Shout out to NRS Netcode.
Yeah, they can actually play each other. It's pretty good. So yeah, I felt fine. Like I wasn't like overconfident, but I wasn't like nervous or anything because I knew I was capable of beating him.
Mm-hmm.
And then yeah, I just ended up beating him 3-1. So I felt so good.
Not just that though, like with Dizzy, like his big issue is he cracks under pressure hard, and the minute you went up on him, that was done. You know that.
Yeah, I remember there was one point in the set, like the second game, he woke up Cat Dash and like just like randomly and killed me. And he like said something to me like mid set, and I like didn't even look at him. I just like he was trying to get in my head. I just like completely ignored him and like just beat him, and it felt so good.
No, that's great. Yeah. Let's transition over to Gilbagz versus Foxy. Yeah.
Foxy
Yeah.
Grandpa.
You already knew he played Batman, yeah?
Yeah. Again, a lot of it was just me not. Okay, the big thing that killed me, right, was pressing buttons when he was plus, right? But like as scrubby as that sounds, right? Me and Taz laughed the fuck out of this before, and I actually thought it was a decent idea, right? So like, basically with NRS, right, or with Injustice, you can buffer normals out of block stun.
Yep.
Right. So Batman's 1/2 string is +4 and is back 9 frames. So it comes down 5 frames. So it's gonna beat out everything in the game because everything's the fastest normal is 6 frames. So my idea was because I'm buffering the normal, I should be able to get a frame perfect every time to come out, right? But for him, because he's doing on offense, he needs to time the thing like to the frame every time manually.
Yep.
So because I had the buff window, I thought, okay, I'm just gonna press buttons. At worst, I should be trading, right? And from the trade, I could still like still turn back or something, right? This man didn't miss the frame trade once. I got fucked.
Oh really?
Every single time I ate that into a full combo. I'm like, there's no way he's hitting it. I'm probably just doing it later. Let's keep trying it. Nah, I got fucked.
Oh man.
Absolutely fucked. It's like like.
How far into the set did you realize this?
Like second game.
After he lost.
Oh dude, poor dude.
But yeah, because it worked against every other Batman I played so far. Like obviously Taz's Batman isn't like at the same level, right? But like he's not a dumb player, so he still knows how to use the character. And I played K-Top, and K-Top was the Greek player was there, and like K-Top's Batman is actually pretty good. He was giving Taz a lot of issues.
Yeah.
And like I absolutely fucking mopped K-Top. It was like fucking like 12-1 or some shit.
I don't know if it added to the difficulty of the match, but he played extremely risk-free. Like he would not advance without the
Yeah, without the trade back.
yeah.
Like if you again like I picked up on that early on, right? And he just he doesn't bite anything. Like I was trying to figure out ways for him to waste a trade bat. You saw me like doing a lot of random stance switch on the spot, trying to bait it out or like jumps and stuff. But it wasn't like I think I figured it out towards the end, but by then it was too late. And like the one game I had shit going was just like I ate one random cross up which I usually blocked, but it just just fucking in the moment I didn't block it.
Yeah.
Into the Voltex and then died.
Yeah, it was a tough match.
But yeah, outside of everything, the main thing that killed me was pressing buttons at plus. If I actually just blocked, he actually can't open me up. But I just I kept pressing buttons at plus, thinking that he would fuck up the frame trap. But apparently he's really good at it.
Yep.
So the next Aussie match was Waz versus Shark Teeth, which was a big deal.
Yeah.
Holy hell.
I was actually pretty nervous going into that match, to be honest. Like, not like super nervous, but I wasn't like really confident or anything because we played at Evo and he beat me pretty badly. So, I was like not. I didn't know how it was gonna go basically. Like at Evo, pretty much like he actually just like fucking destroyed me. Like it was pretty bad. Like I was like, holy shit! I never felt so lost against someone before. And then I like thought back on the time I played my Evo and I watched heaps of his videos and I was like, it just made so much sense to like how to beat him. So I just pretty much literally just did nothing and waited for him to kill himself and I won.
Oh wow!
Like, I just sat there and like, yeah.
Injustice caters to the defensive playstyle, so the more patient player, like again, for the way the game's designed now, right? Well, who are the heavy mix-up characters? Well, Flash and Canary, right?
Like, yeah, that's it.
Basically, everyone knows you can just block all day. So the way you give up free damage is a bad jump or like a mistimed like projectile that you jump over or some shit.
Yeah.
And that's what Taz basically did, right? You anti-ate him or you made a good read on one of his buttons and you neutral jumped him.
Pretty much, that's all I did. I literally just sat there and then I neutral jumped every now and then when I felt like it, and I won. That was pretty much it. Yeah, it was pretty like easy to be honest. This Super Go, like it was.
So someone clip this and send it to Shark Teeth.
He's one of those players that's got like a decent amount of characters under his roster. Remind me who he played. I'm drawing a blank.
He played Super Go. He just played.
Yeah,
Super
that's
Go
right. Oh, that's right. That's right.
Because that's who he beat me with at Evo.
Like he beat you 3-0, right? Like Evo.
Yeah, he beat me 3-0.
But so obviously he goes in thinking that it's gonna work again, but he made the adjustments then.
Yeah.
Nice. That was real. Like I can tell from experience, being awake up like 5 a.m. That was one hell of a hype match.
Yeah, it was sick.
It was okay. Next Aussie match was Gilbagz versus Dubasic.
Yeah. So Dubasic is what, like Russia's best player, probably.
Yeah, definitely.
And he's the other like low tier, mid tier hero, if you want to call it, right? That's like. I know the Enchantress matchup because we have Enchantresses here. He doesn't have the Joker matchup, so I could do whatever the fuck I wanted.
Pretty much. It seemed that way.
You can actually kind of just do whatever the fuck you want in that matchup anyway, so...
Yeah, I know, right? But regardless, like, come on, you never see me do level 3 trait, unless it's like a few matchups, and you saw me get to level 3 trait consistently against
Oh, yeah, consistently.
Yeah, so I know this matchup inside now from fucking playing shit.
Basically, TLDR Aaron just fucking mauled his shit. Just like ran over here.
That was fun. Yeah. That was a good showcase for Joker.
So I know it's good that like you didn't go to. That was like that was good.
I just wanted an opportunity for you to showcase your Joker. Just like I'm pretty sure everyone had that same viewpoint.
Yep.
So everyone's just like, when the fuck do you see Enchantress Joker?
Exactly. Yeah. It was commented upon so many times. That you're like, I do not know how this matchup goes because we've never seen it anyway.
Yeah.
So that was fun because I could still what I wanted. I got into the corner once. You saw that it was like literally like just touch of death.
But then next you had to play Shark Teeth.
Yep. There we go. Right. So leading up to Vienna, right? I knew he played Dr. Fate.
Mhm.
Right? And like you've seen me play this matchup.
Yeah, yeah. See, when he picked Fate, I was like, I'm not too worried. Gilbagz has played this matchup pretty constantly. It's
Yeah.
probably not in his favor. I've played it against you in early
Yeah.
times
you
of
beat me. You knocked me out,
Oh,
but yeah,
well.
like yeah. So like it's this matchup has been my bane for the most part, but I've played it
Mhm.
so much now. I'm actually really confident. Like last time I played
Yeah.
Andy on the offline set, I was actually up on him. And, like
Mhm.
I know the matchup. I just needed to stick to my game plan,
Mhm.
which isn't what I fucking did at VR.
Oh, poor Gilbagz.
That's the
So like
experience, boys.
Mm.
yeah, just like you have to play that matchup so perfectly, right? Like you can see as soon as I lose the corner, it's fucking hard. You're like chip again, whatever. It's Vengeance of Horus, whatever, right?
Yeah.
But like the one change that made the matchup actually winnable is my gun shot actually being plus on hit. So I actually counter zone and shit. So it's just like be patient, get a touch, get a life lead, then just trade to death. And it worked. So like every Fate I've played against so far has been fucked on that map. Like it's close-ish, but I'm generally like 70-30 in sets against like pocket Fates.
Mhm.
And yeah, like that's what happened against Shark Tank. Like like I got the life lead and he wasn't doing too much damage in terms of chip for me, but it just like I just started making stupid decisions. I just deviated from the game plan. Or I made one bad jump, lost the corner, and died, which happened to fucking shit ton. But just like you have to play that matchup so perfectly, but I know the strategy to win that matchup.
Mhm.
Like pocket fates aren't gonna beat me. Like I say that after having lost to a fucking pocket fate now.
No,
but like,
no, but like if you had to replay the match, you feel like a lot more confident going in.
Like if you watch it back, right, that's like the closest or one of the closest 3-0s you're gonna see still.
Mhm.
A close 3-0 in a match is arguably 7-3 or 6.
Mhm.
But like the match isn't that bad. I just didn't stick to the game plan. I dropped combos. Yeah, that was literally it. Just the usual. I drop a combo and then fucking die. My favorite way of losing.
So
But
yeah,
like, Doctor Fate, but whatever.
it was a good experience overall. Like,
Yeah.
and it's like what I said, at least he didn't go 0-2.
Yeah.
But yeah,
At the end
let's.
of the day, you got a free trip, like.
Yeah, free trip
And you got to showcase Oz's talent, which is
yeah.
honestly like it was funny leading up onto the online qualifiers. Like we all come from different states, so we had our little allegiances. But if I could be honest, I probably you two were probably the best reps to go there. So I was completely fine with that. So yeah. So yeah, let's jump into winners final. It's funny because a lot of people's mind, in a lot of people's mind, mine included, whoever's gonna win this set was probably most likely gonna win the whole thing.
Yep, I thought the same thing.
So
this is where it gets fun.
Savage Blast.
Second master.
I
knew he played Green Arrow, but the last time I played against Green Arrow was Illusions at Coinbreaker, and it was actually like pretty close in both sets. And like definitely the way Illusions played it, like it was kind of the only Green Arrow I've played pretty much. So I was like, okay, this match is like definitely winnable. It's like it's bad, but like it's not that bad. It's like one of those matchups that like if you play it right, you can win. And then I fought Tekken Master, and I felt like I've never felt like so
helpless.
Like, I've never felt like it's more impossible to win a matchup than like that. Like I couldn't believe how hard it was. Like I was legit so confused. It's like once he started just doing like Savage Blast non-stop, he's just jumping back, gets to the corner, interact the way out, do the same thing. I was like, it's literally impossible. Like it's literally impossible.
Like the first game he actually did alright though, or the second game. It was close as fuck.
Yeah, there was one game it was really close, but that was just because he played it like shit. But like it literally was like it felt impossible. I was like, okay,
it's definitely a hard as fuck match, but again, it's hard because it forces you to play stupid read for read styles, and literally you just bank on.
It's not even, bro. It's like that's like a 1 in like 100 chance of it even working. If probably not. It's probably higher than that.
It looked like really bad from like the viewers.
It was really hard, but like again, like this is again, like fucking everything's like 2020 in hindsight, right? But like Tekken Master had some pretty obvious patterns in terms of how he was zoning. It was Savage Blast, get fire arrows, drop 3, and then fucking instant load. Like he did that for like 3 games straight. Like
yeah, but you know how hard that is.
Yeah, I know it's fucking hard as shit, but at least you get him to slow down.
And even if I did do it a few times, but it's still not enough. It's not enough.
Yeah,
because even if I get a hit on him, it's not enough.
Yeah.
Like,
well, like like at least this way you can sort of keep up in terms of chip and damage, right? But like, again, like he was only getting chip damage on you. Like every now you got impatient at 8 of fire or some shit, but for the most part, it was just like it was impatience. Like so, if you just accepted chip and like bank on random cat dash, that was literally the only way of winning the game.
Yeah, it's not reliable at all.
Yeah,
In the,
yeah, it's not reliable.
actually
Mhm.
so unreliable. You can't
It's
even like
definitely
consider it a thing.
it's
Like,
definitely a
at
stem
all.
and 3, but it's that's how you get your 3. You had the random cat dash, which you weren't doing at all,
Mhm.
which made a fucking
I
10
did it
show
like
basically.
4 times in the whole set, and even then
Yeah.
it was.
There's
still
one
not-
time your read was on point, but you didn't have the bottom end of it.
Yeah, I remember that. So like, yeah, once that set, like when it was like 2-0 and it was still in green arrow, I was thinking like maybe I changed, but like I just I don't know, I guess I just didn't feel confident in any other character
Yeah.
Yeah.
because I knew like by the time he's already 2-0, if I go to my Doctor Fate, like he's definitely just gonna play.
Just counter pick.
He's
Yeah.
just gonna counterpick my shit. So
Mhm.
like he did the right thing, the smart thing by playing a character. He has a team of characters that you literally can't lose a counterpick war.
He has 7 characters.
Yeah. Take
Yeah,
him. Take him out. Take him out. So for those people that don't know, literally mains, like he's Mr. Counterpick.
Yeah, he literally no meme has 7 characters like
Mhm.
that he plays like regularly, like he swaps them out like regularly.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So I pretty much thought I was fucked by the time it was like 2-0. Then I had to fight Shark Teeth, so I lost 3-0 in that.
Mhm.
And then I had to fight Shark Teeth in the losers final, and I
Yeah.
beat him already in winners final. I mean in winners 3-0. So I was
Yeah.
like, I felt like pretty good. I felt like I knew how he played and like how to beat him. But then he picked Wonder Woman, which is also a counter pick to Catwoman.
Mhm.
So I was like, okay, I've played this like 1,000. I played that
Yeah.
shit so many times.
Mhm.
So like the matchup, I didn't even really care about it. Like, but it was just like it was a different Wonder Woman, so I had to like kind of download him more.
Mhm.
So if anyone who's watched that shit, it was fucking crazy. It was probably one of the best sets of like Injustice 2 in general. Like
Mhm.
in terms of how close it was. It was like
Oh, it was ridiculous.
it was like insane. Yeah. Like when I watched it back, I was like, how the fuck did I not like crack there? Like
Mhm.
but yeah, so the Middle East guys, like they don't have many people to play against, so they've worked really hard on learning as many characters as they can, so they don't ever get in a bad matchup situation.
Mhm.
So I could just see that straight away. Like they're fucking smart, man. They know what they're doing. They have counter picks for counter picks. Like,
Yeah.
Usually when you think of a counter pick, you think of one extra character. They have this. They have the second character, and if you have a second character, they've got a third, and
They're
so
thinking
on.
that extra step ahead.
If you ever
They're
they have a
thinking. They're
four.
thinking like 5. They're fucking
Yeah.
literally thinking 7 characters ahead. Like
Mhm.
what? So yeah, I lost to him 3-2, but it was like really really close.
Mhm.
And like honestly, like from that, once I even lost there, I was like, I wasn't really upset or anything because one, it was like one of the sickest sets I've ever played in like any tournament ever.
Mhm.
It was on a pretty big stage. And I honestly felt like even if I won that set, I wasn't beating Tekken Master in the grand finals. No way.
Mhm.
Like there was no way in this with like what I had prepared. Like no way I could have beat his Green Arrow like or his counter pick war or whatever in like a grand finals. It would have been way too hard. Just with how much time I played in the characters that I have, like secondary at least.
Yeah.
So yeah, ended up getting third, but still in the end super happy with the opportunity. Like can't complain really at all, to be honest. Like yeah, I didn't make IPS finals or whatever, but
Which would have been sick, but
that would have
yeah.
been so sick. But like
Mhm.
still at the end of the day, like I gained a lot from it, and it's not like I lost anything at all. Like I literally got like a free trip, good exposure, met a lot of new people, had fun time.
Mhm.
Yeah.
More international experience, like, and I've probably learned the biggest lesson, which is literally just learn more characters. Like, I think that was like probably the biggest thing I learned from the whole trip, to be honest.
That was fine. The same thing happened to Bio, if you think about it, right? Like
Mhm.
he lost like close tournaments, right? And that's what turned him into a
This is you're just so people know you're referring to packs, yeah.
No, is it
Oh.
like
No, just in general.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
because Bio was a character lotus too. Like he only
Mhm.
played with Bane in Justice 1, and he played only Ferrotor.
Oh, okay. That's yeah. Mhm.
But yeah, he after like one tournament, we got like this absolute counterpicked. He
Mhm.
just became like a tier, not tier, but like he actually had a team character.
He has a legit team, and that's why he's like top 6 in IPS now.
Mhm.
So I think I learned well, assuming the game stays pretty similar.
Yeah.
And I'm definitely gonna like in terms of like counter picking and stuff, I'm definitely gonna have multiple characters. But yeah, I always like to just stick it out with the one character. It makes it, it just feels way more solid and stuff. But
So
if it has to be done, then I'll do it.
how would you compare? Because you've had like I'd say 3 major international experiences this
Yeah,
year.
3 now.
How would you compare Vienna with Evo and Combo Breaker?
Vienna was like my Vienna trip was like a million times better than Evo, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
I just felt like it was way more. It was just way more fun, and I guess how do I explain it? I felt like no matter how I did there, I would have been happy. But like, and in terms of comparison to Combo Breaker, yeah, it was probably just as good as Combo Breaker, honestly.
Okay.
I think maybe even like better because the vibe in Vienna was sick. Like when we all like hung out, it didn't feel like it was like a competition or anything.
Mm-hmm.
It really just felt like we're all just there like chilling out. Like
Dude, during casuals, we weren't playing casuals. Just fucking just talking to ketchup and mustard the whole time.
yeah, like we all legit just sat around like on chairs for like 4 hours legit just talking about all the old games and like all the scene and everything, and like I don't know, I just felt like I had a real sick like
Yeah.
I feel like I met and made way more friends at
Yeah.
Vienna
Yeah.
than I did like.
How much production was there into going? Because obviously there was like the pre-match interviews and whatnot.
It was pretty quick actually. It was probably like we went out for like half an hour to an hour, like
No, really.
like for like each people, like each person. I mean,
Mm.
so like, well, for me and Aaron, it took about an hour. We pretty much just went around and like filmed it really quick. So it was pretty chill. Aaron got to be esports for the first time. So that was nice. That man was esports.
Rest in peace, Nova.
How was it for you, Gilbagz, being your first international experience?
No, it was fun. It was fucking. It's a free holiday, man. More than anything.
Mm-hmm.
Got that. Like I had literally nothing to lose. Like if I lose, I can OS stroke is bad.
Mm-hmm.
And any win I get, it's like okay, so it's not that bad. It's like like again, all I want to do is just showcase Joker more
Yeah.
than anything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Or like potentially like gatekeep Taz. What's up, Taz?
So a question I wanted to bring up earlier, after we discussed Vienna, was comparing the Australian talent pool, because that's all we're pretty much privy to, compared to, like Vienna was like kind of specific to certain countries, and but how do you feel Australia is at?
Well,
feel
Taz has been to multiple, so
yeah. Okay, so from my point of view, I think I would say around like I'd say around like maybe like 4 or 5, maybe a little tiny bit more in Australia, like maybe like 5. I'll just say 5 roughly. I would say
can compete on international scale.
that could compete on international level. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I think honestly, in terms of like competing, it's not even all about the game skills. From at least the way I see it now, it's completely changed. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I used to
Literally
think it was
just
all
match
about the
experience.
game. I used to think it was all about the game. Nah, not even that. Like, I'm talking like mentality wise. I think
Alright.
it's probably one of the biggest things. Like, a lot of the guys in Australia are probably better than we fucking know, but they don't do as good in tournaments because they either just get way too nervous or they don't like care as much or shit like that.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, I think like I've done like pretty decently at most tournaments. So like, and I've got all my experience just from playing in Australia. So I guess if that pretty much says it there, like
Yeah, that's a
I
good
think-
indicator.
I think like the top players in Australia could do well overseas 100%.
Yeah.
It's just that no one else really has had the opportunity besides me to do it more than anyone else yet.
Yep.
But like I think now that this happened, obviously we're going to get another spot, or most likely we're going to get another chance.
Yeah.
And I hope it like for whatever's next, I hope like there's more people that are hungry and more people like travel, because I don't want to do it by myself yet. So yeah, looking forward to it. But I think we're all definitely capable if we put the work in. Like there's no excuse when someone like Tekka Master gets second at Evo, or either he makes IPS or like shit like that. He has a
He's
scene
trying.
just like ours, if not smaller. So there's no real excuse for anyone to not be able to do it.
Mm-hmm.
It's just if you want to do it, you can do it. Like the only reason like people don't is because they probably don't want to, or not many people really have really wanted to travel, like besides me and like a few others. Like
Hey, Abby,
Yeah.
how long have you been telling me to come at you before?
Like probably for as long as I've known you. Yeah. But
For
granted,
3 years.
Gilbagz has the excuse of having the most hectic schedule in the past like 1 or 2 years. But yeah.
Yeah.
But you're right. It is obviously the comes down to wanting it. I mean, like
100%.
we all the FGC, like even in Australia, even specific to NRS, like everyone's competitive, but just how much so? Like, do you want to take it that little step further and go and compete internationally?
Yeah, it also depends on like what level of a player you are in Australia. Like, if I never wanted, I would never have wanted to travel overseas for a tournament until I've won in Australia at least. Like, like most likely, like I can't say because
Really, I've never won anything in Australia. Well, apart from Tassie Fighticon, but that would not stop me. I'm just like I'm keen. Like I have.
I mean, like maybe, but like I don't know. I feel like if I could maybe not like completely not want to go, but I could see why it would be like maybe I shouldn't go. I don't know. Like depending on.
It's a bit more intimidating if you're like if you don't have that level of success in
Yeah,
Australia.
it depends how like confident you are and what you want out of it too. Like that really like all is a factor. But yeah, like I think anyone in Australia that wants to do well overseas could do it. Like we've had heaps of fucking fighting game players from everything like do well overseas.
Yeah.
Like it's not just like pretty much every scene has done like something overseas, right?
Something notable.
Notable. Yeah, like we've all like you can think of everything in any scene and someone's done something pretty notable. Yeah. So, I think like being from Australia, I used to think it was like a legit excuse. I used to say make it all the time, but I would never make that excuse again. Like there's no excuse anymore. Like anyone can do this shit.
Again, skills wise, we can hang with them. Like fundamentally, dude. Like some of us have better fundamentals than the fucking guys overseas. Like free. Dude, like the Taz's match was fucking dizzy. That showcase. Like that match was like all neutral. Even the match with Shark Teeth, the Shark Teeth is good neutral, and the whole game was just fucking. I said neutral way too much, but like legit, the whole thing was just neutral.
Yeah.
But you could pretty much agree with what's the stance that there's like 5-6 guys that could compete.
Yeah, definitely. The best example is Harlock. I think he's in the stream right now. Yeah, he's a Wonder Woman player. That has like you can probably say that we're top 2 Wonder Woman in the world.
Yeah.
At the very middle.
Definitely just like him and Shark Teeth is definitely the best. Like Shark Teeth.
Really, you want to give him that props? Holy.
Yeah,
in terms of like the character, like just we'll just talk about this really quickly. Like he probably is actually the best with the character, but Shark Teeth is just probably just a better player in general.
Man, so. Katana Prime, take a back seat. Holy hell! I said, yeah.
But yeah, it's not.
It's not a diss. It's just probably shout outs to how good Halleck is with the character.
Yeah, it's like it just pretty much goes to show that like you can like from like pretty much just going back to when what we were saying about being from Australia. Like we have players here that can give you that matchup experience that like is at the highest level, honestly. Like, but
it's just tournament experience.
Yeah, pretty much.
But,
interesting.
Because the only thing that sort of simulates it here is the OHN, but we have the OHN and the majors here, but they come like once every 6 months or some shit.
Yeah.
Like why is
they're also not even like crazily bigger compared to like a local anyway. So
yeah, I know, but just in terms of like the atmosphere, like there's something more on the land. Like
yeah.
Think of OHN, bro. Like you even cracked under the pressure when playing against Justin. Like just the different atmosphere just changes the way you play. Like YSBs don't simulate that at all. Like me and you talk shit while playing.
Yeah, 100%. The atmosphere plays a huge deal.
Yeah,
I agree. But yeah, I just hope next game everyone's traveling with me because
that'd be sick, man. If we get like a whole crew going from Oz, man, that'd be fucking insane.
Because I've been trying to push.
Look, I can sense the hunger. Like you've had a few events, like possibly like in the law of happening that like shout out to Justin trying to arrange that thing at Queensland that kind of fell through, but like you could see hunger from the scene there, but it's just it's just a shame it just fell through. I figure with the opportunity that we just had, plus the release of a new game, that is going to highly invigorate people.
Yes,
I hope so.
definitely.
I really hope
Dude,
so.
I want to see Melbourne come like fucking back to life, man. I want Sydney vs Melbourne again. The Sydney vs Melbourne OHN, that shit was fucking sick, even though we got bopped.
That format was bullshit.
Mm.
Dude, I definitely wanted to OCG Melbourne.
Yeah, right, fucking
I
hell.
didn't even. I only played one game and we lost, and I won my game. I was like,
Yeah, you
I
guys,
definitely got bodied.
you guys gotta hold that, man. Melbourne best
Nah,
NRS
bullshit.
thing.
That doesn't even count.
Dude, all
You gotta
guys
hold
fucking-
that. You
Dude,
gotta hold
when we
that.
lost, man, see about the Al's video, right? Like,
Mhm.
you're like, it's like Sydney's fucking shit. You and Kawhi just popping off and shit.
That shit
Oh,
didn't
man.
count, man. Shut up.
No, dude, yeah. Shout out to interstate
Yeah.
rivalries.
Yeah,
The next game, hopefully, just
brings it all
Sparks.
back.
sparks like it just better be sick. Like, I don't even care. Like, I just want it to be sick. I want
Yeah.
people to enjoy it, and like, I want it'll be fresh. So I want new people, and I want everyone that's like dabbled in every game to just like go ham. Because
Yeah.
like, I want the competition to be like exciting in every tournament. Like
Yeah.
in Australia, I've said this before. Like, you can kind of say, oh yeah, this is going to be the top 4-ish. Like,
Yep.
it's never like, whoa, this guy made top 4. Holy shit! It's like,
Yeah.
oh, that guy got
Yeah.
second, and this time he got first, and this time he got third. Like,
And the closest thing to that is like it's Mitch, because like he's been doing better and better in every tournament.
yeah,
He's
definitely.
he's like the dark horse, is improving and shit.
Yeah.
Actually, before MK2 was Ma, fucking Ma. Like he was
Oh,
the
yeah,
guy who just
Ma.
coming out of nowhere, just beat people.
I honestly think you'll see it because with the newer games, there just seem to be more people ready to jump into FGC. Like
Yeah, for sure.
like the numbers we get for games right now is just it's actually
It's
alarming.
pretty wild, eh?
Yeah.
I mean, just like it's a random segue. Or not even segueing, just highlighting how many people we got for our Soul Calibur tournament at the launch for
Yeah.
Melbourne. Like it's like Soul Calibur in relative to other games has never been massive, but we got more people for Soul Calibur than for Tekken in Melbourne, which
Holy
is
shit.
unprecedented. So yeah,
Yeah.
I can only imagine it'll be the same for
I'll look up
MK11.
2 seconds.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, but the first event is always the huge one.
Yeah, it's just retaining the numbers, but
Yeah.
you know, with all the events that are popping over Australia, I can't help but imagine that like the next Mortal Kombat will get
Yeah.
good opportunities.
There's a good foundation leading into the new games. We just gotta fucking capitalize on it properly.
Yeah.
There's one thing I wanted to bring up. Oh, actually, yeah, but it's like, yeah, like again, let's talk about foundation, right? Every state sort of has a scene, regardless of how small it is. Sydney and Melbourne have always been the two big ones.
Mm-hmm.
SA had a scene, but after ESG sort of dropped out, like the NRS scene sort of died, like they're like 3-4 man tournaments and shit.
Yeah.
And Queensland, like Queensland hasn't had like a big scene forever, like as in like in terms of NRS stuff, like before it was just the big names dabbling in other games like Baxter,
Yeah.
Death Wish, and all like the OG names. Like
Mhm.
I fuck, what's the name? What's Jake's tag again? Jake Bloomberg.
Oh, dude, I forgot what it is. Yeah. Yeah.
But we realized, like there was no dedicated NRS scene now, but there is a big base there now. There's a whole bunch of Queensland guys, and like they all want to travel to GCS and shit. So yeah, there's a base that they just need to establish, like just need to get something going.
No, at the end of the day, I've always said it. It comes down to support. I mean, you can't always rely on having the game showcased at the big majors like OHN and BAM.
Yeah.
Look, we have majors in the form of Tassie FighterCon. Like if
Yeah.
everyone travels for that, you have another major.
Yeah.
You have
a major fucking YSB.
100%. Yeah, more stuff's gonna come out. Like New Zealand, like they're right next door. They're right next door to us. I've been saying for ages. I'm guilty of this myself. Like if you want more opportunities, it's right next door, and I know they're gonna showcase whatever game that people are ready to travel for.
Yeah. like New Zealand's to travel to our tournaments too, so like we should probably.
Oh, hey, 100% return the favor. 100%.
But yeah, NRS has always been like the weird one in terms of just like they're so on and off in terms of the players.
Mm-hmm.
But MK11, dude, there's a really good chance for to revitalize everything because 100% Gugu's gonna be back.
Yeah. Well, I think everyone will be back. I think.
Yeah.
Look, everyone's got their favorite and their preferences. There are legitimately people who prefer Injustice to Mortal Kombat, but Mortal Kombat for the most part is the more popular game, and I think people. I really have to comment on the fact that I haven't liked the drop off, like the way it's handled. People were just
it's fucking trash.
Yeah, I hate that mentality. Just like it, or just shit on Injustice and like almost force the developers like. We're done with this. Like, bring out, and that's just shit mentality to have, man.
Yeah. So if you don't like the game, just don't play it. Whatever, that's fine. It's perfectly fine. But they'll be like, guys, what the fuck are you playing this shitty game for? MKX went and Sleepless or
Yeah, I'm never like that. I mean, look, the game is gonna come out eventually. Just wait. Just wait the course.
Okay, like one example I want to bring up, right, is Harold. Like, I'm not sure you heard about this, right? But like, Harold dropped off from gaming, right? I'm not sure if he's playing anything at all. Well, like, because I haven't really kept in touch with him. But yeah, like, he like a big reason for him dropping off Injustice 2 is just the negativity from everyone else. Like, probably like you Melbourne guys have like a WhatsApp chat for the NRS guys or some shit, right? And it just constant like shitty got Injustice. So like,
look, yeah, it's not like because I'm a part of a lot of games. So it's hard to keep up with everything, but I can fully understand why. So maybe it's just a wake up call for everyone else. Look, your negativity may affect other people and without you realizing it. But I can totally understand why he may have dropped off for that reason.
I'm the Man City team. Like, I felt the same things at times. Like, like MKX is still by far the more loved game here. Like, Carl fucking loves that game. Basically everyone still loves fucking MK, right? Like, which is fair enough. You like it, right?
Yeah.
But just like when you're the TO putting all the work to like organize all this shit, and then it's like everyone just shit. I was like, why the fuck am I putting this effort into?
100%. It's such like as a community leader, it's such a shitty feeling to feel.
Just like it's like a wasted effort. Like, I mentioned this in the previous podcast, right? But like, you mentioned before that I'm like super fucking busy with shit, right? Yeah, it's like last year I was tutoring like a shit ton of classes while working full time, right? This year I dialed it back, right? And like basically it wasn't until this year, right, where like I could actually attend YSBs on time. Like before I didn't get to YSB around 5 or 6 because I had work, right?
Yeah.
So, and it's because I tutored on Saturday, right? And like, we're tutoring, you develop a relationship with the students, right? The kids come to like rely and trust you, right? So you can't.
No way. Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but they couldn't change the class day, right? Because it's just the kids are used to this particular day now. It just fucks them over. So the agreement I came to with my boss was every time I take a Saturday off for YSB, right?
Yep.
I'll run 2 catch-up classes, one on Wednesday, one on Sunday, right? So like I'm working double the hour, actually. Quadruple the hours now. Oh no, actually not double the hours. Sorry. And in terms of pay, I don't even get paid for one of the days because like the kids pay once for the thing, right? But like I'm doing this to keep the kids happy, right?
Yeah.
And like at the beginning, I was happy to do that because it's like fucking this is out of love for the scene and shit, right? But towards that, it's just like I'm fucking doing this. I'm fucking killing myself, and everyone's just shitting on the game. Like, why the fuck am I doing this for? Like, it's literally a waste of time. Fucking just making more work for me.
Yeah, it's very, very demotivating from a TO's perspective, 100%.
So everyone, like, if you don't like the game, whatever. But just don't be kind of about it. Seriously.
Yeah. Take home message NRS. Like, I got love for the NRS scene, but the mentality needs to change for a few people.
Yep. Well, anyways, well, is there anything else on the agenda?
I think I covered that. I don't want. Just I just want to bring up randomly. Did you guys check out the Well, we could talk about the last chance qualifier if you guys tuned into that.
All right. Oh, actually, Taz, you watch it? Taz, your mic's muted, bro. Taz, your mic's muted.
Thank you. I only watched the grand finals. That's all I saw.
I watched most of the top 8. It's actually pretty good. Some pretty sick stuff. Oh yeah, fuck. The big matches, right, were King Jr. King Jr.'s a Swamp Thing man. And he fucking he took it to everyone, man. Like I think he came 5th or 4th or some shit, but his Swamp Thing is bloody good.
I'm just sad for my boy White Boy coming 3rd.
Alright.
Yeah, he did pretty well still.
He did well, but he killed himself with the Adam pick. Like that was a mistake there. Like his Adam wasn't up to scratch by any means.
Mm-hmm.
Like he wanted to just I guess random out nupcakes again with the Adam shit, but
Yep.
it wasn't there. And but like the big thing was the basics won it. Like
Yeah.
no one saw that coming. Literally, like
Mm-hmm.
I didn't even know his name until fucking that tournament.
Yeah, because
I knew who he was.
I had no idea. I legit tuned in for grand finals. I saw them. I saw Bonfrey interviewing the guys, and I saw Nupcakes. And I'm like, who is this guy? Like I know, like I dove into the NRS scene, but I might not know everyone. I'm like, I do not know this guy, and apparently he has a massive online player who just made the transition to offline.
That was his
Oh,
first
no.
offline 20.
Get out!
It was.
Basics or Nupcakes?
Basics.
All right. Yeah, but basics definitely. But Nupcakes
Yeah.
is the OG.
Yeah, Basics has been playing online for like so much. He plays like literally
Actually,
every day, like constantly.
Yeah. One of the
Him and
tweets I
Tweety,
saw was
him and Tweety grind like all the fucking time, like hours and hours and hours.
Mm-hmm.
Like Tweety's always thought he was like really fucking good, and he's played in like every War of the Gods tournament that's like ever happened. So he's like, and the thing with NRS, like online netcode is so good that you can kind of get the same, or like very similar play. Like you can learn a lot from playing online.
Yeah.
But I'm surprised how well he like played in terms of like nerves and shit. Like he must be like he must be really clear, like have a like fucking really good mentality, like to be able to win a whole tournament at your first time at such
it
a
wasn't
big
his first
event.
offline. That's it. I think it's his third. As I remember them mentioning, like he's been to a few and he went 0-2 a few times.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Oh well, it's definitely the first one I've seen him at, so
Yeah.
he must have got bopped to the others.
Yeah. But yeah, he took out big names, man. Taking out Nupcakes is no fucking like he's not a slouch by any means. Like Nupcakes is the guy who knocked you out of Evo, right? Or put you on losers.
Yeah, I definitely thought it was either going to be Nubcakes or Deoxys.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, he did fucking really good, man. Like that was so hype. So keen to see how he does at IPS. I think he'll definitely take some heads.
Actually, it was like, his Brainiac is fucking good too.
He's gonna be fighting Tweety, I'm pretty sure.
Do you guys know have a list? Is that eight people qualified or
It's 16.
It's 16, yeah.
16? That's massive. Yeah.
Yeah. All I know is he'll be fighting Tweety. Tekamaster will be fighting Sonic Fox. They're the only two I know right now.
Okay.
So, I think Basics versus Tweety, they've played like so many fucking games. I could see either of them winning, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
Tweety is probably like the better player, but I think Basics could beat him. So, pretty keen to see how IPS goes.
The pairing partners too. They're guaranteed they're gonna know each other. So
Yeah. I wonder if they're gonna like play each other a lot before the tournament.
that's what we start sandbagging.
Yeah.
So I'm going through who's there now. So you got Tweety, Fox, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
Fire, Rewind, Samij, Hayate, Gross, Honeybee, Gur, Irish Mantis, Silvereye,
Mm-hmm.
Scar, Happy Pal. And what are the last three spots? The legal. Hey George. Hey George is in there. Fuck. That's gonna be.
Hey
interesting.
George is in there, that's right.
It'd be interesting to see how his Joker goes and his Enchantress. Actually, he plays a lot of characters actually.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he plays Turtles a lot as well.
Fucking no. It should be a fun watch.
It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun for sure. And we'll see if there's any sneaky announcements after IPS.
It's on the Disney Channel, man. We're not gonna see MK11.
No way. No
They
way.
definitely just show a logo.
No way.
Remember that.
You think the logo will be enough? Like people know it's coming. They want more. They want like.
Like Albert put it pretty well, right? It's gonna be like it's gonna fade to black, right? You're gonna hear "Get Over Here," and then the fucking logo's gonna appear, and that's gonna be it.
That's legit a good prediction. I would not be surprised if that happens.
If it's not that, it's gonna be Mickey Mouse appearing on screen, then like Sub-Zero's gonna spawn.
Oh, wish I would also
Imagine that,
love.
like Disney just gets completely destroyed.
Disney vs MK. That's a new game. MK vs Disney. Make it a thing.
But yeah,
When's the finals again?
November 13th.
November
13th, I'm
13th.
pretty sure. It's a
Okay.
Tuesday. It's kind of fucking weird. Or Wednesday for us. Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of odd for them, but yeah,
Uh,
should be good to watch.
Yeah, definitely. The MK11, the MK11 announcement. Everyone's gonna lose their shit, or everyone's gonna be very sad. One or the other.
What I'm interested to see is like gameplay wise, how different it is? Like, did they decide to keep variations or?
Well,
Because I never I
Legacy's-
never played MK9, so I don't know how much it deviated from MK.
dude. Okay, so yeah, the big question is it gonna be Legacy? Because Injustice 1 to Injustice 2 is Legacy, but
Mhm.
MK9 to MKX was a completely different engine.
Really?
The only thing that carried on from MK9 to MKX was the poker game.
Okay.
Everything else was completely brand new.
Hmm.
So it'll be fun to have a brand new game, but the balance is gonna be fucked because they're not gonna there's no established meta. If they go Legacy, the balance should be better on release, but it'd be interesting to see how it goes. But we could go the second approach and just add like a million moves. Just have start with 10 moves.
I'm definitely praying it's Legacy so I can just play my character again.
Yeah.
Mhm. Speaking of characters, did you guys get a view on that? I don't know. Like, I saw the video, but I didn't delve into how factual it was. The release of the council characters for Injustice 2.
Oh, right, list of cancer characters.
Yeah,
Like
the
Constantine, all that shit.
yeah, Constantine, Penguin. It's actually kind
Oh.
of interesting to hear. They had characters planned, but I guess
Yeah.
who knows what their reason for not releasing them. The game wasn't as successful as they wanted for them to keep continuing, or
They had a lot of deals. I think it's just
how many seasons of DLC were there?
three fighter packs.
3. But they were pretty close within each other. How long has the game been out?
It came out 2017. It's been out just over a year.
So,
Actually,
yeah, that's really
year and a half.
that's really not. Maybe that's
Yeah.
not long
That's
for.
fast.
What's the lifespan for NRS games usually?
2 years.
2 years.
2 years, 3 years max. Yeah.
Usually
So,
at this point it starts to go yikes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But fucking Injustice started going yikes longer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Injustice never had that
Yeah.
never had even remotely a crazy hype around it.
Just everyone wasn't expecting an MKX, but then you didn't get MKX.
I didn't even expect MKX and I had no expectations and it was just still the game is just it's just a different game.
Yeah.
And it actually just it's a really good fighting game, but in terms of
Spectating.
spectating it's alright in some. I don't know. I just
when
think the
it's
game is.
high level play.
I think the
it's
game is
alright.
only fun to play and fun to watch at the highest level.
Yeah.
Anything other than that is yeah.
It's It's like high level neutral and Injustice is fucking sick to watch.
Yeah, and it's fun.
Just
come MKX 11. What are some things that you would like to see, and what are some things that they did wrong that you would like to see reworked?
I personally, this is nothing to do with balance.
Mm-hmm.
I just want more characters to have more skins. I really just want that
Mm-hmm.
because
Yeah.
there wasn't enough.
Mm-hmm.
Some characters had 10.
You had three of them.
Yeah, and
4.
they all look fucking the same except for one.
Dude, well, when you got fucking the dog spike collar on your fucking tits.
Nah, I just think that would be cool, and also
Change run. Run needs to change.
if run is the same, it'll be a bit questionable. They need to just make it slow. I think the way the stamina worked was good at the end. They just need to
Yeah.
make run slower.
Mm-hmm.
Make everyone's run speed a lot just slower, legit.
That and you can't instant block after run. That's stupid.
Nah,
This
that's not stupid.
Dude,
Because
that's
You don't agree with that?
No,
Like,
because
okay,
then you can't
you
run
can-
cancel in a block.
That's stupid. Dude, think about it. Anytime someone runs at you, it's a guess. You stick a button out to catch the run, you punish them, right? Or if they run stop, they will punish you for sticking a button out trying to catch it.
Yeah, but if they're slower, then it's not as much of a guess.
I can still gonna be a guess, man.
If it's way slower, it's not as much of a guess. But then you can't do run. No one could do a run cancel on block into be safe. No,
Yeah, that's the point. Anytime you commit to a run, it's like committing to a jump. You have to take a risk.
No, I'm not about it.
So you see, but you have stamina to kind of balance it out, so you can't constantly do that. So
Yeah,
I
you
feel
get one
I don't-
maybe.
I don't know, man.
I feel like so. How did it work in MK9?
MK9, you could just dash. You didn't have stamina.
Okay,
Yeah,
you couldn't
couldn't
run.
run.
Okay.
MK9 movement was like Tekken movement essentially. We
Yeah.
can just like cancel dashes into anything. Besides another dash.
Mm-hmm.
But MKX, yeah, like just like run was fun to play
Mm-hmm.
because just like super fast paced, but just like, well, like so many times I'm playing fucking like I was playing like Carl or something, right?
Mm-hmm.
I know he reacts to run with dive kick, right?
Yep.
Like he'll up back dive kick to punish you running. So I just run a block and I fucking
Mhm,
punish him. But him
mhm.
trying to get, it's just like it like run enforces.
How much
like,
would you,
extra-
how much do you think it would have changed the meta if there was no run?
Holy
like,
shit.
Jesus Christ, dude.
I don't want run to disappear. I just want run I just want it so you can't instant block after run. So like like
So
it's
so
only
you
two
have
frames.
so you have to commit.
It's like you run and you can
Mm.
cancel, right? But you can't block
Mhm.
for let's say like 5 frames.
Okay.
If someone calls you out for doing a run fake, you can punish them for it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, actually, that'd be fun. See,
Oh.
that's not what you said the first time.
What do you mean? I'm saying you can't cancel fucking run into block, which is
Yeah,
basically
but 5 frames. I mean, that's all right.
yeah, like treat run like trip guard, right?
Yeah,
If you
that's
whiff
alright.
if you whiff it air normal, you get punished, right? But if you
Yeah.
empty jump, well, actually no, that doesn't really work. But the point is that like
No, I
run
know
was
what you
way
mean,
too.
though.
Because again,
Yeah,
like I got so much again like I'm teaching when I was teaching Dan how to play MKX, right? I taught him how to punish runners. It was like he was letting me run too much, right?
Mm-hmm.
Eventually, once he started punching runners, I just run stop in front of him. He does stand too, and I whiff punish him. Which is like, what the fuck? That's fucking stupid. Like, there's no risk at all. I run at you and block. What can you do to punish me? All you can do to punish me if you're really running a block is mix me up. There's no way to like actual punish the run.
yeah. But
Like the risk reward is always in the favor of the runner. Like yeah, in the end, yes, like the stamina changes meant you got punished if you got hit during a run and you couldn't break.
Yeah.
But still, like, if I just blocked, what are you gonna do?
Mm-hmm.
I also
Like,
hope they keep armor the same the way it is at the moment. I really like
Yeah.
it.
Do you feel like they should have had that come release?
Yeah, I think
Yes,
there should
hell
have been
yeah.
no armored
Mm,
launches, and
mhm.
like I feel like everyone who has a pretty good wake up deserves it, maybe, or not everyone, but like,
Mm-hmm.
and everyone who has a bad wake up is kind of like justified by how good the
Yeah.
offense is.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, keep that shit the same because it's really good.
Like the way they do 50-50s in Injustice is really good. They should keep it the same way. It's
Mm.
like
Yeah.
a low damage option that's like maybe like safe or low neg, and then you got like a punishable or some shit.
Mm-hmm.
It's like
And-
it's like Tekken style 50s.
Mm-hmm.
Please give Jack's armor back on his dash mode. I'm still waiting for them to fix it, man.
Would you guys like to see the variation systems stay into play?
Yeah,
I don't
I
know.
want it back. I want it
Maybe
back.
2 variations max because
I'd say
variations
2, yeah, 2.
They made it 2
Yeah, 100%. I agree with that. I'd like, if they don't keep the variation, like you're gonna have to add to the character list,
Yeah.
just to make it
Yeah,
more
like-
interesting.
Just thinking about like the way, I couldn't even imagine the way like just for Devora as an example, like if there was no variations, obviously there would be things that they wouldn't just have all that shit in one.
Yeah, 100%. You just
Yeah.
take a couple from each
Yeah.
variation.
So that's why I like
Yeah.
variations. Like if there was no variations, like then my favorite variation would never even exist anyway. So it's like I think it should just be 2 and that's it. Like no more,
Mm-hmm.
because that's just perfect. Like you can have, it makes it way more fun to keep playing the same character because you can play essentially a different character at the same time. Like playing 2 different variations actually felt like a very different character for me, at least. Some characters didn't feel too different, but like I feel like it's still good to have in terms of like fun, and it's hype to see different variations get used as well.
Yeah, definitely.
But saying that, it takes way longer for matchups to develop because there's 2 fucking variations. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Okay, like Halak is saying this in the chat, right? Invincible wake ups, right? I think I had this discussion with him like last time at Big KB.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I honestly don't mind invincible wake ups as long as they're punishable, or there's a way to punish them. There's like a blind spot or something you can do, right? Because the way wake ups worked in MKX, right? Like you rely on armor, right? Which
Yeah.
is like that was kind of stupid because you had armor regardless of whether you did it as a wake up or not. So
Mhm.
fucking, yeah, it really didn't fucking matter.
Yeah.
And if you didn't have bar, it was literally you had to hold this fucking mix up, which is kind of retarded.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think you should always have the option of get off me, but it should be full punishable.
Mhm.
Or if it's safe, there's a way to get around it. Or
Mhm.
like maybe like one character can have a safe wake up with that's his poke or some shit.
Yeah, like that's his thing.
But there should never be a safe wake up that launches or some shit like fucking Wonder Woman. Shout outs to fucking Halak.
Yeah, like there shouldn't be, like it should just be risky to like wake up.
Yeah, it's just like yeah,
Just in general, like that. It just sounds dumb if you're like That's like like in Street Fighter, you just have a safe DP. Like
Yeah,
what-
that's
that's,
ridiculous.
that's basically essentially what a safe wake up is in MKX.
Yeah.
Like you have a safe DP, it's the same shit.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, you know,
Pretty
like,
fucking dumb.
like you think about like Joker's wake up, you know, people complain about that, or Taiji complain about that, but like, well, Harlock does it, right?
Yeah.
With it safe, but you can jump on it. You know there's that blind spot which is completely
Yeah,
missed.
yeah.
Yeah, like,
Yeah,
yeah, there should never be a wake up that's completely safe unless, you know, you're like, that's the character's like perk, like Deadshot
Yeah.
or something. Deadshot's shit
Like,
now, but he
let's
doesn't
just
say
say,
perk.
like, for example, who's a character like I guess Kenshi is probably one of the best. Like, yeah, you can
Yeah.
kind of like you can get like a lucky as me, but it's not consistent.
Yeah.
Like he has like a +5 on block wake up. Like, what is that?
But, see,
Yeah.
but like, you know, that's his perk, you know, like that's not as ridiculous because, you know, that his character's fucking based around that shit. Like,
Yeah,
saying, maybe teleport pressure or something, right? But
Yeah.
like towards the end of MKX wake ups weren't that bad, but like I don't think we shouldn't need to rely on armor for a wake up
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
because
You need
otherwise,
to rely on armor in general.
Mhm.
Like it was
Yeah.
so relied on at early MKX.
there's like think about like look at fucking Spec Ops Cassie, right? Like that was an armor breaking hard to block wall. You literally couldn't wake up against that fucking character.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You
And it
just
was
had to hold this hard to block or like delay wake up's actually pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Like I think the way Injustice does wake ups is actually pretty solid. Like Invincible wake ups aren't that bad. They just you just can't have fucking completely safe wake ups.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
100%. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I think it's going to be a good game, whatever it is. I think they've really got a pretty fucking solid idea of what they're doing with their games at the moment.
Mhm.
Obviously, like
Yeah.
Injustice is obviously slower, but if they had the same
Like,
knowledge that they got from MKX and then just made Injustice 1, it would have been the same shit. Like if they could
Yeah.
go back
Mm.
and then keep working on Injustice 1, they would have done the same thing.
Yeah.
So I think it's more so like that's just how Injustice is meant to be played.
Yeah.
MK will obviously be faster paced, but I don't think it's not gonna be like Mix City or anything. Like
Mhm.
no way. They know what they know. Paulo knows now. Like he knows the direction of what they want to do.
Yeah.
So,
I think I would like them to stick to that direction and not be influenced from like a thousand
like
tweets.
Yeah.
NRS isn't afraid to experiment there. Like look at Adam.
Mm.
Like that is the craziest fucking any fighting game ever. Like he turns into a fucking dot and just like flies around. He's a bloody Wii character. Like you can imagine more like, you know, Justice Wii. You get the Wii mode, just fucking draw your
Mhm.
line to the controller, right?
Yeah.
You know, they're creative as shit. They take these risks, you know, every now and then they don't work out, but for the most part, you know, that's what keeps the games like interesting.
Yeah.
Even if people hate Adam, but like, fuck.
Shout out
Hey,
to when
Abby.
Abby came to ISP.
Like I've played a lot of new characters in tournament that I've never played before, like in different games. But that takes the cake. Like I played Noctis and Tekken for the first time without having to like, okay, I can kind of get around this, but dude, Adam takes the cake. I was just like, what do I even do here?
Crazy.
I have to block 4 different ways.
Shouts to Harold.
Yeah.
Another matchup, just hold down.
Mm.
Never forget, rest in peace, Harold.
I think we covered everything. Was there anything else?
None yet.
Yeah, we're good. So we're at the end of the podcast, guys. I usually like to round it off with a few questions for the guests. First one I had is a pretty much a staple. I'm not sure if you've answered it before. Was most memorable loss during your time in the FGC?
Probably.
Chip.
Nah.
Oh man, dude! If that's not up there, then I don't know what is. Holy
I
hell!
actually was too salty to actually care about that now. Probably. Man, I actually don't know. Hey, maybe when I lost to Googie at my first ban, maybe.
Really?
Probably the most memorable, not like because.
No, well, memorable in the sense like it was the worst one for you.
Probably probably that OHN actually. Yeah, I was definitely mad emo. I probably wanted to like legit die. So
Oh
yeah,
wow!
it's probably both OHNs actually because I was legit like I got 5th at both of them. So yeah,
It was a bit.
fuck OHN.
How about you, Gilbagz?
Come on, no one's ever gonna forget fucking boxing glove moment, bro. Boxing glove moment was like the hypest.
Oh man!
Oh, that shit was so sick. Like I like not even mad. That shit was awesome. Just like everyone losing their shit, like everyone doing the switch stance,
Mm.
and us having like the fucking the Mexican standoff, just standing there doing nothing. But yeah, probably that. Anything else? What other bad losses have I had?
One comes to memory for me, but I want to see if
What?
it's what you're thinking.
Dropping the game-winning combo against Andy with my super girl.
Well, was that in tournament? What was that for?
This is the YSB where
Ah, okay.
I pick super girl randomly.
I
Just,
think I could think of one for Aaron maybe.
Yeah,
which one?
I might not be the.
Let's
I want to see what you come up with. What's yours? But
for Aaron.
yeah, no. I want Aaron to state what his
Oh, yeah.
is.
Memorable loss. Okay, let me.
Okay, see, this is what I think might not be up there. Your money match against Baxter.
That's what I was gonna say.
Even that wasn't that bad. Just like, actually, you know, like, I lost that shit because I kept going for fucking optimal combos. There were so many times where if I just actually did the the less optimal combo would actually fucking like done the damage to kill.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know, like that again. I'm not salty about that fucking loss at all. Like it was a hype fucking match.
Yeah.
Oh wow, this guy takes losing pretty well.
Dude, I fucking I play mid tier every game. Like, I'm second. I'm so used to losing. It doesn't phase me.
Oh wow, well. All right, I got one question for you, Gilbagz. Oh, for you too, Was. If Devora and Sub, God forbid, and in the next MKS game, which is pretty much impossible, who are you guys playing?
Katana, free.
Really?
Free.
Really?
Free.
Okay.
Cyber Sub? Does that count?
This is pretty much if you weren't playing Sub, who would you be playing?
Yeah, so Cyber Sub, if I'm allowed to say that. Otherwise, Reptile and Nubel Scorpion.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, definitely just Katana or Jax. Definitely them two.
Legacy characters you guys want to see in the next game?
Noob Saber.
I want everybody that was in MK9 to be in MK11, and everyone that's in MKX to be in MK11.
That's one massive roster, my dude.
I want all of them.
That's one massive roster, including the DLC. You still want to see Predator and Alien?
I do. I actually love Predator.
Like, the guest characters actually pretty sick, man. Like they always fucking.
I actually
we got Ninja Turtles. We got fucking Ninja Turtles back. Come
Okay, all right. Yeah, shout out to NRS. They are pretty good with the guest characters.
Also, just gonna predict right now. Spawn. It's not even a wild prediction. Spawn is just definitely gonna be in MK11. That's just a fact.
And that's the answer to my the question from Halleck. He asked if I will pick up MK11 full time. If Spawn is there, then consider me on the game.
I also wouldn't mind seeing Pennywise, just because I think I think NRS would make Pennywise sick. So
I would actually play Pennywise because it's a fucking clown, Joker.
He would be sick.
Interesting.
But yeah, that's all I would do. I would definitely just play Katana all day, like sick.
Nice.
But please, let's just sorry.
Yeah, go for it.
Let's just never assume Devora's not in the next game.
Well,
I don't want to think about that.
Well, if we're going, MK does a pretty good job of following the story of its predecessors, and she's still alive from.
She's in there.
We might not see Melina in the next game.
I can't wait to see how they make Kodal in the next game, because Kodal is definitely one of the sickest characters in MKX.
Yeah.
All
right. I think that's it, guys. You guys have any future plans? Might not be specific to NRS games. Any events you might be attending that you want to give or give some shout outs to certain people?
I might still fly up to GCS just to meet the Queensland people. But I'm trying to decide. Fucking shout out to Spooter for being the meme lord. Oh my god, Abby, you see Spooter's video, right?
Which one? I've seen heaps of them.
The one, his latest compilation.
I might not have seen it. No.
You have to watch this. Do yourself the biggest favor of all time, man. This is actually the funniest. You have no clue, man. Like Taz was actually laughing his ass off on stream. You gotta watch this shit.
Yeah, shout out to Spooter, man, the one and only. Like, let's give shout outs to the Wyland Monks podcast. Check it out, official NRS podcast of the Oz FGC. Shout out to Spooter, my man, who couldn't make it today, but definitely check out his podcast.
Shout out to Harlock, because he also said he wanted to shout out to.
Harlock, come to an offline, come to a major, please. You got talent, all right? No, I'm being legit. I'm being legit. Like, I've seen your games online. Come to a event, all right? That could have been you at Vienna. Then yeah.
So
Where you gonna be at?
I'm from this point out. I'm just going hard in DBZ. So
Mm-hmm.
100% gonna go to the Saga event in Melbourne in like December, whenever it is.
Yeah.
So I know there's a bunch of internationals coming down, but I legit just want to go there and just
Play.
upset some people. I just want to, I just want to upset some people, legit.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think the game is pretty sick and it's not like crazy hard or anything to like
Mm-hmm.
get decent at.
Yeah, it's just
So
fun side game.
Yeah, I'm definitely just going hard and trying to upset people at this event. So I'll be going there and then just streaming and doing the same shit I've been doing. You know, just streaming hard and making content, waiting for whatever's next. I'll also be at I'll also be in Gfinity for Street Fighter.
Nice.
So that's gonna be pretty sick. It starts November 4th, so it starts in like 2 weeks. So hopefully can show that the NRS boys can play multiple games, and I'm gonna try and take some heads in Street Fighter as well.
Yeah. Also,
didn't you beat Somniac last time? One of the GFNs ages?
Yeah, that's one of them. Yeah.
So for people who are still interested in any NRS game, whether Mortal Kombat or Injustice, where can they venture into to find games or to know more about the games in Australia?
I think it depends. If you want to play offline, definitely you can just go to a YSB if you're in Sydney.
Yep.
Or BKB or First Round
Even
Esports.
in I believe actually in Perth, Sinjo was talking to me, and I'm pretty sure like they're going to be bringing back MKX in Perth. So that's definitely like, I think if you just want to play the games online, like MKX, you can actually play online like pretty easily.
Yeah.
Like surprisingly, at most times of the night, there's actually people on like all the time. So that's definitely something you can get into if you want to like learn the game properly. I would suggest just like look into like videos and stuff about it. Like Catch Up must have a shit ton of videos, because at this point, like, not everyone's gonna like go back and like put a lot of time into MKX and shit now. So, but if you want to play games and shit, there's definitely people to play. Injustice, it's similar. You know, Aaron runs costs like every fucking day. So
yeah,
you can pretty much play in those or shit like that. But I'd say for now,
would you link them to the Australian NRS Facebook group?
Yep, and
Jez.
the Discord.
And the Discord.
Regardless of how shit posty the Discord is.
It's actually not bad. That's not too bad. But yeah, I would say just join the Discord. If you want to find it, you can just look up Australian NRS and you'll find it on Facebook. And one of us will be there and can just like help you out with anything pretty much. So yeah, I hope to see whatever. I'm excited for whatever's next with NRS, and I hope that it gives. I hope that we set a good example for like what we can do in international wise, and this was a good experience for like the whole scene to have. And I know like esports and shit is kind of blowing up at the moment, so no idea really what's going to happen with any of the games for now. So I'm just looking forward to like seeing where FGC goes in the next like 2 years are going to be pretty fucking crazy, honestly.
100%.
So like the opportunities just keep getting bigger and bigger, and like I'm just keen to see more Australians travel. That's what I want. That's literally all I fucking want. I just want more Australians to pop off overseas. That's like my main thing I want more than anything.
Yeah, I pop off pretty hard, but it's kind of hard to pop off for one person by yourself when you're in someone else's hometown.
We need you, me, and Carl in the same crowd. Dude,
we would actually probably get told to like.
Shut the fuck up.
Dude, I'm not listening. I'm not listening to anyone. There's one of my boys is playing, then yeah. But yeah.
Look at me. We're blowing people up hard.
100%. Yeah, looking forward to the future. So, guys, just to round off, where can people find you on Twitter, if your social medias?
Aaron, you can go first.
You can find me at TFA_Gilbagz94, and that I stream at, I think just Gilbagz, right, on Twitter, on Twitch.
Nice. Check out the best joker in the world, people. Get that tick.
Hey, George plays him.
Wise yourself.
You can just find me on like pretty much any social media, just with Wasminator, and I stream pretty much like literally like 2 times a day at the moment. So if you're keen to get on that, pretty much any fighting game. I'm playing mainly DBZ at the moment, but still open to try anything out and just making a shit ton of content. So if you're into that, you can hit me up there or pretty much on any of the socials. There's just content everywhere. So just gonna be grinding that shit out, trying to make it bigger. And because there's not that many like Australian streamers I've noticed like in terms of fighting game community. So
Yep.
shout out to us three that are there out here holding.
Oh,
it down.
you'd be surprised, man. If you,
I know there's more than like that.
Mm.
Like, there was actually more than I thought originally. Like I've seen
Mhm.
heaps of like the Tekken guys do it.
Mhm.
I've watched a lot of the Tekken people actually.
Mm.
Tekken is probably like the biggest one that stream everything. But I still want more. I want more.
Yeah. Anyways, yeah. Thanks for hopping on, guys. It's always a blast.
Thank you for having us. Thank you for giving the Oz FGC something to look forward to and like.
Dude, my pleasure, man. We need more of this content, like FGC wise,
Yeah,
everything.
It's sick for, eventually it's gonna become like a thing where in a few years' time, like I don't know where we're gonna be at, but people are gonna look back at this shit and be like, "Holy shit, boys! This is fucking poverty, boys."
Oh.
One day it's gonna be like we're gonna be at a spot where it's like, damn, this is the come up. Like it's actually gonna blow up.
Yeah, we're like the innovators.
Yeah, so keen to see where it goes.
All right, guys. Thanks for having jumping on the Beast Dance. This was Gilbagz, Waz, tuning in with the Beast, talking NRS stuff. We'll catch you next time.
Peace.
Peace. Catch you later.
See you guys. Alright.